Questions continue to circulate around the incidents leading up to the tragic crash landing of Jeju Air Flight 2216, in which 179 people lost their lives after the Boeing 737's landing gear failed to deploy and the plane crashed into a concrete barrier. Roger Collins joins us now with the latest on the incident. What can you tell us, Roger?
Vanessa, it's the deadliest aviation disaster of 2024 and the worst to date involving this particular model of aircraft. But for Boeing, this could just be another blight on a company that was once the poster child of American manufacturing. How does a crucial component like landing gear fail on a modern aircraft? That question, and hundreds more like it, have yet to be answered in the wake of Sunday's deadly crash in South Korea that claimed the lives of 179 people. But one detail no one seems to be missing is the plane itself was a Boeing. And today, the beleaguered company's stock took a massive hit after yet another incident involving one of its planes. Earlier this year, Boeing came under scrutiny when one of its plane's doors blew off mid-flight. At that time, top of mind for many was the tragic incident involving Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, which suffered a total loss of all its crew and passengers just 6 minutes after taking off in 2019. A crash which came just 5 months after Lion Air Flight 610 went into the Java Sea. In total, 346 people died. To say Boeing has had a rough few years would be an understatement. Just recently, a 7-week strike by its machinist union is estimated to have cost the company $5.5 billion. And its troubled Starliner's inability to bring 2 NASA astronauts home hasn't helped either. But while questions remain around its commitment to safety, quality control, and leadership, another one lingers in regards to Jeju Air Flight 2216. After all, even though the landing gear didn't deploy, what claimed the lives of the 179 people on board was the collision the plane suffered when it crashed into a concrete barrier at the end of the runway. Najmuddin Mashkati is a professor at the University of Southern California with a background in aviation safety. He says the concrete barrier at the end of the runway housed an important device for guiding the plane to the landing strip.
It is basically for something which is called localizer antenna. They are usually put on a pylon and in other type of a structure. At this particular airport, it was put on this concrete wall. One lesson of this accident is to put some sort of a damping system at the end of runway to prevent the aircraft crashing into hard barriers.
Mashkati says the concrete barrier is only one aspect of this tragedy that will need to be investigated.
The cockpit voice recorder collects all the conversation for 2 hours, I think, in the cockpit and all the noises that are heard in the cockpit. And flight data recorder collects all the technical data from different sensors about different subsystems and that. These 2 will provide us a very good perspective of went on in the case of this.
He says the public needs to wait before pointing the finger at either Boeing, the pilots, or South Korean aviation officials.
Condemnation before investigation is the height of ignorance.
While a major investigation is expected to be carried out by South Korean officials, all Boeing 737-800 aircrafts operated there will undergo a special inspection regarding their maintenance first.